figuring out who we are and why we're here is so important. And yet I'm 72 and I'm really, I guess I'm learning all the time, but I can't imagine having moved ahead without the last couple years of really coming to understand more about who I am. And I think we are just never encouraged to do that and to make it the most important thing. What is more important than knowing who you are and what you bring to the table of life? What? What's more important than knowing what you value and what you don't, and being okay with that, and understanding that there is no competition because no one is exactly alike, and you can't compete with an unlike. And so forget that, comparing yourself. That's a waste of time. How much energy do we spend trying to be like each other, to follow the right clothes and to have the right house and even the right color appliances? And it's interesting because the couple times I've gone out, people or young women are all talking about parasites. Well, my God, that is a trend that's come and gone so many times in my 72 years. When I was in high school, they said that, they had slam books, we called them, and you would pass around a book and everybody would write down, at the top of each page would be a student's name. And then, like if I had the book, I would put number 1, that would be me, and then I would write something about the person at the top. And I would write something about each person that I wanted to, and I could be identified as number 1 if I were the first person. And so under my name, it was always most understanding. Now, I know now that I'm an INTP, which with Myers-Briggs, that's the most disliked personality. Isn't that just great? And on top of that, I have ADHD and major depression and PTSD. And ADHD be working along with the personality traits makes me a real challenge for people. But I never knew that because my intentions were always honorable and I felt like people had to see that. And I've been told not to come to parties because I analyzed everything and everybody. But I didn't realize my personality was rough until I started this research. And I gave up everything that was fake, and I realized that my problems in life had mostly been caused by not knowing who I was. When we try to be someone we're not, it's like a rubber band around our neck all the time, and it wears. And when you finally get free and figure out who you are and get the courage to be it, first of all, other people won't like it because they're used to the person you were. I remember when I first got formally saved in 81, and my business partner and I were very close. And I went in one day and he said, "What has happened to you?" And I said, "Oh, well, whatever." I gave some testimony, and he said, "Well, you need to know that a lot of people don't like it." Okay, I get that. And then when I had the next big deal, one of the major resets in my life was on January 6th, when I determined, after I saw what happened under my feet in D.C., I determined that I would reinvestigate everything in my life, even my own name. And I did. And that's when I found out that what I believed to be true and what I had preached for 33 years was a hoax. And I found it not by looking for that. So it wasn't like I was going after it or anything of the sort. I happened upon it, but it happened upon me, and it devastated me. And the same with the foundational documents of this place. And I was excited because I was related to all these famous founders. And once I did my research, that fell to hell in a handbasket because I figured out they were all creeps that were in it for nothing but gold. So, history, we're told, is not what we've been told, and it isn't. But that's confusing. And it's that the victor has always written the history. And the people in control have written the history, and if they don't write it, they allow what's written and control what's written through all the books in the media. Some of my best books have discarded on them, and that's where I get information, because you don't need to have it. Otherwise, you won't do the things they want you and need you to do for them to get to where they want to be. So how'd I get off track? My point was, it's never too late to do the work, to figure out who you really are, and to figure out what your values really are. If you don't, you'll end up drinking too much or smoking too much or eating too much. And you won't have a healthy life. And it will be because you didn't know who you really were. How are we supposed to use this energy engine of consciousness if we don't know what it is and what our role is in the big picture? It's never too late. I've learned a lot of things about myself lately. Not necessarily things I like, but things I know are true. And I've worked to do brain tests that give me feedback about what I'm the best at and what I need to work at, and help me to compete against myself. And my brain's never been in better shape. But I've come a long way. And I'm sure I've got a long way to go. And if I ever share anything that seems like it's preaching, just know that it's first for me, because I don't have it all together. And I don't know that I ever will. But I'm not going to quit working at it. And if I run into something that might help you, that's what this is about. Take some time and get to know that incredible. My old dictionary says that we are explosive devices. We are. We're energy, and energy begets energy. And there's so much to learn.